that I want to talk about is Dennis Prager. Now, I'm not going over a classical Prager UwU video. I'm going over one of their little 60-second clips where Dennis Prager decides to give us some good wisdom, some wisdom that was hard-fought and earned as he bootstrapped himself to become the media mogul that he is today. Now, of course, we do have this lovely screenshot here, this great screenshot material, of him just saying, I believe it is harder. If somebody wants to take that and use that going forward, anytime somebody posts porn on the internet, please take this picture and just paste it there. Just Dennis Prager replying to your porn going, I believe it is harder. I think that would be perfect and would be 10 out of 10 whenever I look at Prager UwU. I believe it is softer. But Dennis, for him, the opposite happens. He goes right up. So, let's take a look at what Dennis Prager has to. And before I do that, I'm going to take the screenshot. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take one right here so that I can hold on to it for future reference. And I will use this going forward whenever I need to. It'll be perfect. I'm impressed you only need 70 seconds. At the end of the video, he will no longer be harder. At the end of the video, he will be asleep because he did his best. He pumped very much dust.
I believe it is harder.
That I'm not even I don't have to continue the video anymore. I don't have to continue it past that point. That is it. That is the whole video. Just Dennis Prager. I believe it is harder. Okay, I've drilled this joke down. There's nothing left for this joke. It's dead. It's as dead as my career on YouTube.
I believe it is harder for most people to get off.
Oh my God. Why? Why? He just lost No Nut November. He just lost No Nut November. Okay, hold on. Let's start that again.
I believe it is harder for most people to get off.
Perfect. I should, this is supposed to be VOD content. This is supposed to be something that, like, when somebody watches this is representative of what you'll get on a stream. So maybe just the derailing is fine. We'll keep it in. No editing required. I believe it is harder for most people to get off. I snorted. That's bad.
I believe it is harder for most people to get off the addiction to free money.
I believe it is harder for most people to get off the addiction to free money. You know, it's kind of funny that he would say that, given that corporate tax cuts have been a thing giving him free money for ages. But wait, the addiction to free money, can we talk about the Koch brothers for a second? Can we talk about the free money he's gotten from the Koch brothers to just be their little propaganda bitch? Is that a thing we can do? I believe it. I think he's got firsthand experience with this.
Than it is to get off addiction to heroin.
Does he have a source for that? Is there a source? Something we can I was going to say go off of, and then I accidentally almost said get off to. Dennis, you're spoiling me. I don't think that that's true. I think actual heroin addicts, actual people who have recovered from heroin addiction, can argue that no, heroin is still much harder to deal with than to get off of the idea of than free money. You know.
You get used to getting something for free, and the ante is always increased. The goalposts keep moving. Well, if I get free this, why don't I get free this? Why don't...
Maybe you should actually... Okay, so you're accusing anybody who wants free things of goalpost shifting, of kicking the can down the road. My brain was trying to think of the actual fallacy. He's basically trying to argue in favor of... It's not goalpost shifting. Slippery slope. There we go. That's the one. Slippery slope fallacy. If people get free this, why not this? Or that everybody else is going to want that. That is a slippery slope fallacy. But the answer to slippery slope fallacy is if we can find a stopping point, and it is a stopping point that we can agree on, or it is a stopping point that is logical for us to have achieved, then the slippery slope is not necessarily an unending slope. But what is he talking about free specifically? I think he's talking about healthcare, but let's see.
Don't I get free this? Nobody talks about that.
Because it's not a thing to talk about. Nobody talks about that because countries that actually have free healthcare don't talk about that because they don't fucking have to. Oh my God, you shriveled penis.
Oh, free healthcare and free college and free graduate school and free lunches and free breakfasts.
What's wrong with all of those things? So okay, let me put it this way. As a YouTuber, I pay taxes. I pay taxes before I was a YouTuber. I had a W-2. As a YouTuber, I have a 1099. I have to actually take a certain amount out of the money that I make every week and put it aside in a separate area so that when tax season comes, I have it ready for when Google sends me my 1099, and I throw that in through TurboTax, and I learn to hate every moment of my life because taxes suck when you have a 1099 miscellaneous document. And you know what? While that's really inconvenient for me, at the same time, I don't care. I am in favor of taxes. I am pro-taxation. Would you like to know why? Because if my money is taken away, but then somebody else who needs it gets to use it, and I do not need it, if my material needs are still able to be met and my wants are still able to be met, I'm fine with that. Because I know what it's like to live without. If a portion of my money goes to somebody's food stamps, cool. Oh, but a portion of it might go to somebody who uses their food stamps to trade for cigarettes. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't. Nor do I care. They're getting helped. That's it. That's fine. I'm okay with that. That is in line with my views and my axioms. My spite for the person who abuses the system is not going to outweigh my love for the person who needs it. Talked about this with the healthcare video. I don't care if I get taxed as long as that money goes to doing good things. That money can go to the military for defense. That money can go to the school system when it's my property tax. That money can go, I would like to go to healthcare. Not just for me, but for anyone who might need it. When Dennis sits here and talks about free things, he doesn't take time to consider the fact that that stuff's not free. It's being paid for. It's being paid for by taxes. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because having a system in place that can take care of the people who need that money and take it from people who don't necessarily need all of it in that moment is good. I would like that money to go into housing so that people can get housing and are not forced to be homeless because they're disabled or because they were thrown out at 18 and haven't learned any life skills yet. I would like that money to go to them, to help them, and not just thrown at them so they can do what they want. Because, hey, you can throw $300 at somebody on the street, but are they going to be able to get a house with that money? No. But if you funnel that money into, hey, there's housing available for these people, there's healthcare available for these people, there's food available for these people, then suddenly those material needs start to be able to be met. And if they're met through tax dollars, cool. At the end of the day, that means it's not fucking free, though. It's not. Somebody might think that it's free, but in reality, it's not. And there's nothing wrong with that. People like Dennis, who don't need anything, he's worth, what, $4 million? Something like that? He doesn't need anything. His material needs are met. He's golden. He's good. But he doesn't want other people who don't have their needs met to have their needs met. He wants them to fight for them. Which is really, really fucking stupid to me. This is why I'm in favor of things like universal basic income. Because while the way that Andrew Yang was trying to implement it was not super functional because it took away from other pre-existing social programs, the concept in general, I think, is going to be necessary going forward as more jobs get automated and the need for human labor decreases. As the need for human labor decreases and we have fewer jobs in general due to automation, and believe me, a lot of jobs that are considered only able to be done by humans are getting automated. If you think your job is safe, it might really not be. There's going to have to be some solution to make sure that those people can still live. If you're a truck driver who's been driving for 35 years and that's the life skill that you have and it's what you've built your family with, and then suddenly you're not needed anymore because of automated trucks, now there needs to be some solution to make sure that you can still survive. I think UBI is a good solution for that. But then people like Dennis Prager are going to make their arguments. Oh, but that's free. You'll get addicted to free. Dude, in this example, worked for 35 fucking years. If he gets addicted to free after that point, I don't care. He served his fucking dues. He was a good worker for a long time. I ceased caring at that point. You should too. Thank you very much for the subscription, Base Kevlar. But when he talks about free lunches and free breakfasts, I want to say that he's talking about that. I don't want to strawman him, but that seems to me like he's talking about, free lunches and free breakfasts that are served at school. Now, I'm going to say this right now, Dennis. If you're going to try to say that a child is going to be addicted to free, and so we should make a child starve so that they don't get addicted to free, then you're a monster, and you deserve to be pile-drived into the nearest porcelain toilet. I'm sorry. If you think child starvation's a good thing to teach a child a lesson, then you're a morally repugnant piece of human garbage who deserves to be flushed down the nearest tank, and then when you exit out the pipe into the wonderful ocean that you've polluted with your corporations, by all means, I hope the catfish gobble you up. I don't care. Because you didn't care about the well-being of our most innocent and vulnerable people. So why should I care about you? I don't think I have a reason to. I think you've stripped me of any onus to care. Now, if he's not talking about school lunches and school breakfasts, which I think he is, but if he's not talking about that, then I rescind what I've said. I might have other reasons to think it. But if he is, which I believe he is, then yeah, no. Into the nearest sewage system. Dennis Prager was the imposter. He's been voted out.
What does it do to people when they get everything for free?
I don't know, Dennis. Can you please tell us with all that Koch brother money? Please tell us. With your Koch funded, with your Koch brother funded, university. Please tell us what it does to people. I have no idea. The self-awareness from this man is absolutely astounding.
And you don't earn anything.
So if somebody, let's make this super clear. If I had all of my material needs met, I would still want to earn money. You know why? Because my wants have not been met. Let's talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs for a moment. If my shelter is met, my shelter is met, my food is met, My healthcare is met. But there are certain other things that are not met. A new video game might be coming out. I might want that video game. A VR headset might be out. I might want that. And for me to get that, I'm going to have to earn it. That's not going to be given to me. I'm going to have to earn that. That's functionally no difference. But it means that I'll be able to focus on earning things I enjoy instead of the things that are just, basic. If we have a society that has the means to provide for its people, withholding from them simply so that they learn a lesson is basically just arguing that a certain amount of the population should starve because your axioms demand it. I don't give a fuck about your axioms if they demand people starve. If the end result of them demands certain people starve. I don't. I don't see why if you can give me a good argument as to why I should care, if your axioms necessitate starvation, why I should agree with your principles, please let me know in the comments section. I'd be very interested in ignoring you.
You breathe, you get. Maybe there's a price paid by the individual.
Maybe, but is there?
It sounds good. Drugs sound good too.
This just in, Dennis Prager conflates having free healthcare with having access to hard injectable drugs. I don't get it. Dennis, what is the conflation between somebody having access to a lunch and a breakfast as a child, or having access to a house, or having access to healthcare, and then fucking hard drugs? What is it? Hard drugs? That's the comparison? If people have healthcare, it's like having hard drugs? So for all the other functional countries that have things like free healthcare, but they haven't all like become completely destitute, are they arguments against you, or are they just deluded? Which is it? I also just want to take this screenshot here. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want to take it.
Sound good too. You'll feel great when you take a drug.
You know what's funny about this, though? There are some people who need drugs to function, like people who need marijuana, as an example, because they have intense pain, and the only thing that allows them to actually deal with that pain is literally numbing it and becoming high. Your argument would necessitate that those people should have to suffer. They must suffer. Now, I do know that there are some religious arguments that say that everybody should have to suffer. Mother Teresa was a proponent of this. Suffering was what got you closer to righteousness. Those are bullshit, and I can do an entire video later on the problems with suffering axioms, if you would like me to.
That it sounds good doesn't mean it is good. I want to earn everything I have. It's a great feeling.
I'm sure it's a great feeling. You literally get donations from the Koch brothers, my dude. I'm not saying you haven't earned money in your life, but I don't think you've earned everything you have. I don't think that's... Okay. This is like that thing where you say that because it's capitalism, it's good. Because people have to earn things in capitalism, it's good, even though that's not necessarily what happens. There are people who get donations to just be shit. But, I don't like Dennis Prager. I really don't. And I would like some clarification on the free lunches and free breakfast part. I think that the only thing that could possibly pertain to is school lunches and school breakfast, because that's what that conversation was about when I was in high school. So I want to see what that's about, because if so, then I'm going to do an entire video on how Dennis Prager loves dancing on the corpses of starving children, because that's basically what he's arguing for. But, he can go swim in all of his Coke money. He'll be dead in 10 years anyway? I mean, I'll be dead in 30. Maybe more. Maybe, if I'm lucky, more. But, I don't know, this was a very spiteful video. This was a dark one. I am so sorry for that, guys. Dennis just really gets under my skin, especially when he argues for things that could probably, maybe, probably do are arguments in favor of child starvation. That stuff kind of gets under my skin. I think it's okay getting dark because of that.